Did you guys know that we already have a contender for the worst movie of 2024, and it's only February? See, Madam Web is sort of a blessing. Like, it's bad. Like, real bad. And that's what makes it so funny. So here we have a new addition to the Sony Cinematic Universe, famous for Venom 2 and Morbius. And while Morbius did receive a lot of meme fame, no one went to go see it. The plot of Madam Web revolves around a New York City paramedic whose mom, a long time ago in the 70s, was in a Peruvian jungle alongside her partner Ezekiel Sims. And it was in this clip in the trailer that a line was infamously said,
"He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died."
The dialogue is bad, the line delivery is bad, everything about it is just weird. And to make matters worse, this line of dialogue is not even said in the movie. It has never been more over than it is now. By the way, I'm Zeep. Like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, back to Madam Web. So this connects our lead for the movie, Cassie, to Amazonian spider people. Nah, she wasn't bitten like Peter Parker, she was just linked to giant Amazonian spider people. So this gives Cassandra over here psychic abilities to look towards the future. Okay, here comes one of the main criticisms about this movie, and that is the lead of the film, Dakota Johnson.
And I know what the future brings. I know that when you see Madam Web, you're gonna love it. In fact, I think you're gonna see it twice.
Dude, the marketing for this movie was ridiculous. On TikTok, they even released an AI-generated video with AI audio to market it. It's like no one cared.
What if you could see the future?
Come on, let's go.
What if you had the power to change it?
But trust me, it is a very dry performance. It's not like she's very monotone, but nor is she very enthusiastic about the role as well. Here's the thing, before you even go into this movie, it's all presented full and frontal. There's no like shock here. It wasn't like maybe the trailer was going to be bad, but the movie was going to be better. No, it's worse. It's kind of super bizarre too, because Dakota Johnson seems like she knows this movie's bad. Dakota Johnson even states in an interview, it was an absolutely psychotic film to make, in that she doesn't even know if it's going to be good at all. She even states, you might not like it, but maybe your boyfriend will.
So it's kind of like if AI generated your boyfriend's perfect movie.
You know, when Morbius was coming out, you didn't hear Jared Leto being like, it's probably going to suck. You heard him embracing Morbius. And that's what makes this funnier, because Jared Leto was perfect for the role of Morbius. If anything, he was the best part of that movie. With Dakota Johnson and Madam Web, she is the best part of this movie, but in a different way. It's like she knows it sucks, and is just playing along with it for the paycheck. It's kind of bizarre because there are some hints where she does care when it comes to her acting, and I think I know why. This movie went through a couple reshoots. There were different scripts, and this implies that the script we got before this final product was worse. It's kind of crazy because multiple people wanted to play the role of Cassie. Sony interviewed multiple A-listers. There was an entire race for this film. According to Variety, the studio wanted to put a prominent actress in place for the role. The villain for the movie, Ezekiel Sims, also known as the actor Tahar Rahim, dude, it's not even funny, he was done dirty. There are moments in the movie where he tries to talk, and there's like some sort of like audio dialogue replacement that's going on. It's like he's talking, but his mouth isn't moving, and we're all kind of just like, what are we doing here, Sony? This movie had a budget of $80 million. You see, I could only blame the actors so much. At some point, it is a problem with the writers. Actually, no, I would say they bear most of the responsibility. Because I think the actors were excited for this movie, they thought it was gonna be sick. Like, cool, we're in the Sony Cinematic Universe, let's make this awesome. But no, they get the script and then their disappointment is immeasurable because they know what they signed on for. Here's what we're dealing with. The people who wrote this movie also wrote Morbius, that makes sense. But they also wrote 2017 Power Rangers, and that was bad. So the reason why Cassie's mom was in the Amazon rainforest was to find this spider that would give medicine that would help a lot of people. And Ezekiel like gets super mad, he kills everyone in the expedition, stating that no one helped him when he was a kid or his family, so no one else should get help as well. Kind of a stupid and bad backstory, but okay, why not? I gotta be honest, guys, I don't even know if I would call this a superhero movie, because there's no action whatsoever. There's nothing really super about this. So Ezekiel has these dreams of death that he was going to die at the hands of 3 spider women, to which he does. Spoiler alert, I guess, but I don't think you guys care. The Madam Webber's spider fighters, whatever you call them, essentially back Ezekiel to a corner and where he's squashed by a giant sign, and it's pretty funny. It's like you're watching this and you're just like, yeah, okay, that fits this movie alright. Something that is funny and kind of interesting is that there is a reference to Spider-Man in this movie. So we do see a Mary and Uncle Ben Parker, and they're pregnant with Peter. There's a baby shower scene that's kind of weird, and by the end of the movie we do see the baby get birthed. There it is, that's Peter. A fairly underwhelming Spider-Man reference, but it's funny. What was the point of showing that? Nothing really, they could have gone without it. In fact, there's this weird sequence where all the Madam Webbers have to follow the aunt and uncle as the mom goes and has childbirth. I think the editing when it comes to this movie is atrocious. It's kind of like what the hell is going on for an entirety of an hour and a half. It's really disorienting. There are random zoom-ins, random zoom-outs. The VFX is all over the place. It really is like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It's just so insulting because, you know, we love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's awesome. And, you know, we want to give a chance to say Madam Web. Maybe this might be sick, right? I mean, it's in the Sony Cinematic Universe, so it's probably going to suck, but you know, it could be good if we try hard enough, guys. And at the end of the day, it's not even a superhero movie. There's no action whatsoever. We don't see the main character really use their powers until like the final section of the movie. There's a reason for all of this. It's all set up for future movies. Future movies that will be bad, if not even worse. And that's the real issue here. I've been seeing people stating what was the point of this movie. And there was a point. Not only a cash grab, but to set up other movies that no one's going to care about, that are going to do poorly in the box office, to continue this pointless Sony Cinematic Universe. Movie executives want to so bad to have another Infinity War / Endgame on their hands. They want to develop this big universe that all heads into one big final climax. But something you gotta keep in mind is that Infinity War and Endgame were one-time things. And sure, you can try to mimic it, and maybe you might get some success, but the real problem is that it will never be as good as it was before. Why not just make a standalone superhero movie? That of the vein of, say, the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, the first Iron Man, before this entire MCU stuff existed. But even if Madam Web was a standalone film, it would not have been good. If it didn't have to rely to, say, that of a cinematic universe, it would still have to rely on itself. And if it was written that way, it would have still fumbled because the writers are unreliable. The editing is unreliable, the music is unreliable, there's a section where the song Toxic plays, and it's so awkward. Madam Web is in some way amazing. And I mean that unironically, it literally is one of the most significant and amazing films I've seen in a long time. You see, when it comes to bad movies, you have bad movies, but when you have a really bad movie, you have something special. It's almost as if every single thing has to go wrong. The actors have to not believe in it. They have to know in some way that this movie's complete slop. It's almost made so you could get drunk with your friends and just make fun of it. And that's really what brings us all together. We don't have to be ashamed to admit it. We relish when things are terrible. You look at multiple videos that are going to cover Madam Web, and they're gonna get hundreds of thousands of views. Because we all want to watch something that's bad. It's part of our morbid curiosity. So Madam Web, I know you're pointless, I know everything is terrible about the film, but thank you, literally thank you for existing. I'm Zeep, I love you all, like, comment, and subscribe.